Harry Potter has become a household name. The series and the films have sold countless copies. They have become beloved, even by those who don't favor fantasy, and were the stories which introduced children the world over to reading. With that in mind, it's easy to believe there are only a handful of series beyond Harry Potter, when, in fact, there are hundreds. There are even books which, while not making the top 100 lists, still created a healthy fan following. Hello, this is Riley, and welcome back to Otherworldly Fiction. If you like the content so far, hit the subscribe button, and I'll ramble more about fictional people who do fictional things in fictional places. The Warriors books, penned by a collective of authors who go under the name of Erin Hunter, is seldom mentioned among the most famous literary works. Despite this, it has a cult following and has been well loved by more than one child. The book's overall concept differs from Harry Potter. The Warriors books aren't even about humans. They follow 4 clans of wild cats and a 5th clan, Star Clan, which all 4 communicate with and worship. It's about religious cats who sometimes war with one another, must catch their own food, and face hardship when humans interfere with their carefully sectioned off territories. Harry Potter and Warriors are different stories, but for one striking similarity. The cats, like the students of Hogwarts, are divided into 4 groups. Though they band together when their way of life is threatened, they also fight one another. The first clan I want to discuss is ThunderClan. ThunderClan is the clan the protagonist, Rusty, is accepted into. Like Harry, Rusty isn't aware there's another way of life. Just as Harry grows up among muggles, believing he is one, Rusty is raised as what is known as a kitty pat. That is to say he belongs and lives with a human family, just like one of our own cats. When Rusty is introduced to ThunderClan, he doesn't look back, just as Harry doesn't hesitate to embrace his role as a wizard, leaving his muggle life behind. Both even have relatives who don't transition with them. Harry has a muggle cousin, Dudley, and Rusty has a kitty pet sister, Princess. Despite this, both Harry and Rusty don't regret the lives they have discovered, and subsequently chosen. ThunderClan is also a bold name. It smacks of bravery and strength, and is the clan the protagonist excels in. This makes ThunderClan the obvious parallel to Gryffindor, not least for the similar backgrounds of the main characters. The next clan I want to discuss is RiverClan. RiverClan has the most dubious connection to any of the 4 houses of Hogwarts, but there are some superficial comparisons to be made. For one, RiverClan, like ThunderClan, is one of the more popular clans to belong to. Gryffindor or Ravenclaw would be the houses most students would hope to end up in, if they weren't intrigued by the devious attitudes offered by Slytherin. As to the weaker similarities, both RiverClan and Ravenclaw call the color blue to mind, and they start with R. I said this was the clan with the weakest connection, though its power in relation to the other clans makes it comparable to Ravenclaw. The next clan is WindClan. WindClan is often bullied by the other clans. Some, when territory becomes scarce, even suggest they be the first removed should the forest only have room for 3 clans. The other clans like to make fun of them, and their hardship means they are seen as weaker. WindClan, therefore, is Hufflepuff. Despite being powerful in their own right, nobody respects Hufflepuff. Many students chafe at the idea of Hogwarts having a Hufflepuff for their champion, though Cedric proves the house is made up of students as capable of those of other houses. Being defined by their kindness, Hufflepuff is seen as the throwaway house. WindClan, likewise, are seen as the pushovers when it comes to the different clans. Despite this, their members are tough and prepared to fight. Members of WindClan, like Hufflepuff, are not as powerless as they might seem. The 4th clan I want to discuss is ShadowClan. ShadowClan has the most obvious tie to another Hogwarts house. Like the name Slytherin, its name not only starts with S, but sounds ominous. ShadowClan and Slytherin might as well have had their names changed to Sinister, and the effect would have been the same. Nobody trusts Slytherin. Most of the wizards who go bad hail from this house, and many Slytherins are renowned for being duplicitous and doing whatever it takes to gain what they want. Slytherin also produces Voldemort. Though Tigerclaw is born in ThunderClan, the murderous tyrant is welcomed with open arms by ShadowClan, quickly becoming their leader. Tigerclaw is very like Voldemort, attacking those who share mixed blood. While Voldemort promotes the idea of being pureblood, killing Muggleborns, and looking down on half-bloods, Tigerclaw targets those cats who were born as a result of a tryst between cats from two different clans. Because they are a mixture of two clans, and therefore not seen as pure, he punishes them severely, despite being mixed in his own way. Tigerclaw came from ThunderClan, which would make his children a mix of ThunderClan and ShadowClan. Voldemort was half-blood, yet he persecuted others who couldn't live up to the status of pure. Slytherin and ShadowClan favor similar villains. Nobody trusts Slytherin, just as nobody trusts ShadowClan. Both are feared for their history of taking what they want, regardless of who they hurt. The lands occupied by ShadowClan are denser, darker. The Slytherins reside in the dungeons and in a dimly lit common room. To an outsider, both places feel uncomfortable, cold, and even menacing. Moreover, there are similarities in other characters. Brambleclaw, Tigerclaw's son, ends up in ThunderClan, while his sister ends up in ShadowClan. This division of siblings is not dissimilar to what happens when Sirius becomes a Gryffindor and Regulus becomes a Slytherin. Like Regulus, Brambleclaw's sister isn't even a bad person, though both siblings belong to a group known for its corrupt attitudes and take a long time to question them. Though not as well known as Harry Potter, Warriors enthralled readers for similar reasons. One has to wonder if the use of 4 groups, with one being seen as more wicked than the others, was a concept borrowed by the authors under Erin Hunter, or if the similarities are coincidental, borrowing instead on our innate desire to see group dynamics explored in relation to one another. Sometimes groups fight, forced apart by their differences, but in other instances, they choose to focus on what brings them together. Hogwarts houses jinx each other before Quidditch matches. Slytherins bully students outside of their house, and everyone makes fun of Hufflepuff. The 4 clans feud for food and territory. In extreme cases, clans even invade other clans, taking what they want by force. Even in peaceful times, there's a stigma to visiting other clans, coming too close to their borders, or swapping friendly words with those on the other side. Despite differences, the Hogwarts houses band together to fight Voldemort. When the battle is over, students mix, sitting at the different tables regardless of their house. They are no longer divided. Likewise, when humans destroy their territory, the clans must leave as one. They start sleeping beside one another, the old divisions forgotten. Though they'll eventually separate again, they'll remember what it was to work together and care for one another despite their differences. Both series share a similar message. Though we might be different, and should even take pride in what sets us apart, there's always room for common ground and an ability to not only work with, but to care for, even love, those who belong to an outside group. Coincidence or not, the shared concept has allowed both series to do well. People in real life sort themselves into groups, making the idea of being loyal to a clan or a house appealing, even relatable for most readers. Some are born into a group, while others, like Rusty or Harry, choose the group they want to belong to. In their journeys, both Rusty and Harry learn to respect those who are different, and to thrive as a result, even as they are labeled as outsiders. In overcoming this label, they exercise empathy in helping others who aren't accepted, and in so doing improve not only their homes, but the attitudes of those around them. What other books have had groups which reminded you of the Hogwarts houses? Do you have a lesser-known series you grew up loving? Let me know, and thank you for listening.